Good day, I'm Dr. T and welcome to my office. So when talking about organic molecules, the key to understanding them is this idea of functional groups. Organic molecules can be quite complicated, and trying to take each one by themselves is a Herculean task that is not particularly achievable, nor needed, because typically with organic molecules, their complexity comes as a multitude of parts put together. So if you understand the parts, you typically can understand the majority of the chemistry of the molecule. Obviously, synergy does happen, but it's also a somewhat predictable case. So we can understand which parts are going to likely become more than the sum of their parts when put together. These individual parts that I'm referring to are known as functional groups. Basically arrangements of atoms, small clumps of atoms that get stuck together to make your molecule, and that will impart certain properties to it. The simplest of all functional groups is the alkane. This is going to be carbons hooked together with single bonds and hydrogens. That's it. Typically speaking, if they're a nice straight chain, we'll call these just an alkane. If they form a ring, which is not horribly common, but definitely does take place, typically 6-membered rings. 5- and 6-membered rings are the most popular. Going below that, it causes the bonds to be bent into an odd shape. Those we will call cycloalkanes, and we'll have the prefix cyclo attached to them. Chemically speaking, though, it's not a huge change. It does change the chemistry a little bit, but not by much. Now, with the alkanes, those are usually kind of the base, and the other functional groups get added to them. So that's pretty much an assumed functional group. Now let's talk about a couple of the other ones that we can do with hydrogen and carbon. If we introduce a double bond, so remember a double bond is going to have a single bond in it that's a sigma, and then the next bond is going to be a pi bond, and that pi bond does allow for some interesting reactivity and now gives us some interesting chemistry that can take place. This is called an alkene. And an alkene is simply a double bond present within your organic molecule. Now, if you have a triple bond, that's going to be an alkyne. Triple bonds are going to have fairly similar reactivity to that of double bonds. They are a little bit tougher because there's 3 bonds there, but also significantly less common, so you don't see them that much. But the chemistry that discusses for alkenes will go mostly for that of alkynes. So with that said, there's our first 3 core functional groups, and I will talk about more functional groups in later videos. Have a wonderful day.